Can you launch Rise of the most broken fighting game, Sailor Moon S Esports? What? What the fuck is that? Sailor Moon S. Oh, this is the same channel that did the Mega Man coverage for the old Mega Man Game Boy game.
The fighting game community is filled with small, passionate communities that have kept games alive years and even decades after their release.
This seems like a big event.
From Third Strike to Melee, games that long ago faded into obscurity or were replaced with new versions are kept alive by the fans who fell in love with them all those years ago, and the new converts they bring in all these years later. The game we're talking about today never got the chance to build up a legacy
I've never even heard of
base
it
outside of Japan. It languished in almost perfect obscurity for decades, only coming to light thanks to the persistent dedication of a few individuals who stumbled upon this hidden gem.
Have you seen
this
the Tekken
hidden
Double
gem
KO?
is filled
Yeah,
with some of the wildest, most overpowered bullshit you'll ever see in a fighting game. This is Sailor Moon S.
It can't be more broken than Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Every character has his touch of death.
Released for the Super Famicom in 1994. The game was developed by future Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ creators Arc System Works.
Pretty good
the game
resume.
is based on the popular anime and manga series Sailor Moon and is set during the 3rd season of the anime. Its 9 playable characters come from the series' main cast, known as Sailor Scouts, Sailor Venus, Sailor Mars, etc., along with the addition of Chibi Moon, Sailor Moon's daughter from the future. On its surface, Sailor Moon S looks like a standard fighting game, with typical Street Fighter-esque movement inputs and super moves which become available at low health. Where the game departs from its peers is in the freedom of expression and truly insane things that characters can do.
And I sat down and tried the game, and it felt kind of like, it was like playing ST. If you've ever played Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that game is very busted, but it's very fun, but it's very kind of silly in terms of like...
I feel like that's just most early fighting games.
Things, you can die immediately in ST, right? Like, you know. So Sailor Moon kind of felt like that, which initially made it like fun to jump into, but also like the ease of execution.
I'm guessing this is an infinite loop here.
So doing stuff like that in ST is very hard. The way the game reads inputs is very strict. Sailor Moon, it was a lot easier to jump into.
And we really want to emphasize the insanity of this game. Sailor Moon S is utterly unbalanced, bordering on being completely broken. From overwhelming command grabs to unbalanced chip damage to 100% combos, there are a lot of mechanics
that sounds just like Battle for the Grid
in any modern fighting game. One of the most unique examples of Sailor Moon's spaghetti code is Chibi Moon's infinite backdash. By implementing frame-perfect inputs, she can cancel backdash into backdash, into backdash, into backdash, into backdash, ad infinitum, and avoid all damage forever.
Damn, Chibi Moon seems pretty strong in the meta.
There are plenty of fighting games with crazy damage combos or broken mechanics, but what makes Sailor Moon S unique is its accessibility to newer players. More than most games of the time, Sailor Moon S has a very forgiving frame window to execute complicated inputs. Some moves, like that infinite backdash, do require extremely precise timing. But compared to even many games that released well after it, Sailor Moon S allows newcomers to execute cool special moves that might be too difficult to execute in other games.
It's a very brutal game. I won't sugarcoat it because you can make one mistake
and die, just like Battle for the Grid.
One thing that Sailor Moon teaches that I feel like a lot of fighting games, especially modern fighting games, don't teach you is patience and spatial awareness. If you make one mistake in Sailor Moon, you're dead. You learn not to make mistakes.
So is this scene like alive, or is it just like a really niche one? It's got to be super niche.
Losing a lot in other fighting games, this is a great game to pick up to learn not to lose in the manner that you're losing.
Best Sailor Moon, like, period.
Oh! Wait, that killed?
Punish! What the fuck?
With no North American release, there wasn't much of an early scene for Sailor Moon S in North America. Some of the FGC Old Guard had no doubt traveled to Japan and experienced the game, but even in Japan, the game wasn't a smash success. Fortunately, Sailor Moon S had one person who would eventually be responsible for bringing the game overseas.
I stumbled upon old videos from a Japanese Third Strike player named Koshun, who was also really big into the Sailor Moon S game. Through YouTube, someone had ripped them from his Nico channel and put them on YouTube. And I thought, oh, that's...
I mean, the game seems cool.
Sailor Moon game, and it looks pretty crazy.
In the early 2010s, Missing Person was a fighting game player in St. Louis who occasionally traveled to locals, but spent a lot of time at home exploring fighting games. After coming across Koshun's video on Sailor Moon, he began digging into the game, keeping his findings to himself as sort of a secret personal project. However, years later, after
let me see some of the combos. Let me see some of the infinites. Oh my god, it was at Evo.
Her off. Nice. Catches with command throw. Uranus. Command throw is frame 1 though.
He doesn't want to say anus. Huh?
Nice. That's a punish, I believe.
He just said Uranus.
Yeah, pole vault is risky.
Oh,
it's overhead. Yep. Woof. Dash now or dash later. Dash now or dash later. Which is it? Oh,
this character seems so strong. What the fuck?
Oh, he's just doing the infinite. That's the actual infinite, but that's he was just doing it on block string. Yes, I mean, again, because of the free guard cancels. Yeah. You know, not a true block string like that. So also,
maybe a fighting game I can do well at.
Quickly there, that's not a dash. That is her super. Supers in this game happen when you have approximately 20% or less life, or when there's 10 seconds left on the clock. You have unlimited them, SNK style, and these two have two of the better supers in the game. Actually.
It's a lose-lose game.
One frame auto combos. Yeah, Pluto can actually use it as part of her block string and can repeat.
Thanks for your sub boner.
You can actually make an infinite with it too. Yes, but that takes very good execution. Yes, nice. That's a double.
Whoa!
This is a drop to actually punish the pole vault. Okay, has to back out. Oh, you have a draw. Yes, that's a double.
Let's go! That's Sailor Moon S. Let's go!
I'm very happy that people are actually going to come watch some Sailor Moon. This game is nuts. Oh man, I just wish I could show myself.
Yeah, this game is kind of wacky.
Yo, maybe I said.
Is Pluto and Uranus just the top tiers? Oh no, here we go.
Almost jump backs into the beast salami. Nice. Neptune promoting her deli meats.
Thanks for resub Nord. It seems cool.
Oh, okay. No punish. I like the idea.
Also, it doesn't seem that busted. Like here, for comparison, let me show you Battle the Grid. I've only watched one tournament, and it was their biggest one. And every time someone would get touched, it was a 100-0 combo, pretty much, with nothing they could do. So they do have like a breakout mechanic where you go like yellow, like blinking yellow or orange, and you're supposed to fall out of combos, but it doesn't really work. So all it does is like avoid one of the attacks of the combo, but you can keep the string going forever. So here, let me show you.
He was doing some difficult stuff.
So the second that you get an opening. So this guy's, he's fucked. Like there's just nothing he can do. It's just always 100-0.
Hey, so you got the optimals down, now you gotta get the swag down, you know? Alright, and
so I actually think this is much more broken than Sailor Moon S.
Taking out Adam with this super here.
So now if he gets the first hit here, no, so he's fine for now.
He's gotta go take two fresh characters. All Ryu with his busted assist was able to avoid that.
You just need to find one opening and it's 100-0. The other guy can do the same to him. It's every fucking character pretty much.
Sledge could not even do the light work. Oh no.
It's just a game where you don't interact.
A lot happening right now, Logan. Oh wow, was able to block all that? Yo,
Jesus. Yep, that'll be 100-0, I'm sure. No, he dropped it. That'll be 100-0. Oh, actually, it's not 100-0. He took damage before then.
That EX is totally 100% unblockable.
Everyone's getting their unblockables offline.
Let me find a better example. There's one character, I think it's the Pink Ranger, the Pink Time Force. If she lands a single move, one move, it doesn't even need to be like a full punish, it's over. You lose your like whole lineup.
the youth was hitting at him.
Probably
It was a bit of a change. That's what happened. Caused the role reversal.
I mean, this seems to be doing the exact same thing. Yeah, it's an infinite loop.
There you go for the simpler stuff here.
Every character has a fucking infinite loop. Jesus Christ. It's such a stupid game. It's so dumb.
It's basically like an easier way to blink. Right? It's like blinking, but not blinking.
I think so.
But yeah. I think that is probably the most broken fighting game. Maybe just the most broken competitive game in general.